Alright people, let me clean the lens. Try. That might be better. So we're going to do its own episode on the 1968 burnt AMX. Is it a 68? I can't remember. I haven't looked at it in a while. It is a 68. And if you haven't watched the first episode on this, you should watch it. I'll try to put the link down in the comments. But yeah, this car has got some real serious problems. And it was sold in 2000. Actually, coming right up here 2 years ago. It's today the 8th or something, I think. And this car was sold for, let's see here, got the price right here. $18,750. Okay. They put $1,000 down and owed $17,000, whatever. And this came from Great Lakes Classic Car. Right here. Now, like I said, if you watched the first video, then, you know, we went through it when I first got it. This car was in a shop fire, okay? Shop fire. And if you kind of look at the car, you'll notice that really just the top of it's burnt. I mean, the bottom's burnt, but not like the top. And then the windshield's all funkadelic. But, you know, it's kind of oddly burnt how it was in a shop fire. So, and that's just the story I've been told. And this could have been an act of vandalism, I don't know. But more than likely, whoever bought this car found out what a pile this car really is and probably burnt it to the ground for insurance. But, you know, I don't know that for sure. Now, I had an actual guy who does insurance. Okay, he actually comes and assesses car insurance, house insurance, fires, you name it. He has to, you know, he's the guy that comes out, the adjuster, whatever. The guy that comes out and looks at all this stuff. He told me he's been doing this for, 30 years. He looked right at this windshield and he said somebody poured gas on the top of this car and lit it on fire. That's why the windshield's like that. So, and that's why nothing else blew up, burnt up, or did anything. It got so hot it actually kind of distorted this sunroof thing. But anyways, we're gonna go through this car real quick, like sorta, and just I'm gonna tell you what my plans are for it. But so she got hot enough, especially in these areas here, to just bubble the paint off. The car was green, even though it's got like 8 piles of colors on it. The inside of it smells like a fireplace. They did the quick old just spray paint the door jambs black, even though they painted the car red. You'll notice this big chunk of awesomeness here. Not super terrible. I mean, that can be fixed. I don't know what this is. I'm guessing that's just the actual tar paper from the factory they throw across there. But anyways, there's no real rust or too many issues there. Now, I kind of saved this for us to pick up because I have a feeling I already know what's going to be going on here. And this just blows my mind. Let me grab a couple tools and let's look at this together. Alright, hopefully you guys can see. Now you're looking at this floorboard and you know, yeah, the car's been in a fire, but this part of the car wasn't in a fire. But it's all kind of weird looking under here. Well, let's just do some peeling up, shall we? And I'm going to let you guys know, I'm 36. I mean, I can't tell you I have 20 years into this. But I can tell you I have enough into all of this, living in Phoenix briefly and just being involved with cars for pretty much all of my life, that I have never seen such a thing. And I just kind of discovered, I think this is just fiberglass. Somebody literally just threw it on the floor here. Okay, and it didn't even really bond to anything because I just slapped her on the floor. Yeah, it's not good at all. Let me set you down real quick. There's my knee. This, I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you what, in what world and planet this is acceptable for anything. No clue. That was the floor. Yeah, so that's the floor right there. That's the floor up there. There's more of that fiberglass goodness in here. So I don't know how much of that is fiberglass together. And there's more of it over there too, if you can see that. I cut a hole in the roof. That might be headliner material, I don't know. So that's kind of the passenger side area here, okay? What this car does have going for it, it at least has these side panels, but you know, they've only been painted like 8 times. Same thing here, they painted right over the trim. They just right over all of it. Same with the drip rail. All this is chrome. So they just sprayed right over that bad boy. In the back here, we got rust. We got, that feels like fiberglass there, rust. Trying to cover a rust hole. We got, feels like more fiberglass. We got Bondo. We got Bondo over rust. Look at that. We got rear valve bondoed together. we got some stuff. We got some burnt tail lights. We got an old crash into the back there. I think every one of these cars I've ever owned, including the Javelins, they've all been crashed right there in the back. And we'll get into the trunk here in a few, but we're not to that point yet. Come over here to the driver's side. Oh, we got more fiberglass. We got more fiberglass. We got more Bondo. We got more Bondo. And the weird, well, it's not weird. Shouldn't even be surprised, but so I'm guessing this is a patch panel, or was. And right here is where they started it. They just went right over this wheel existing panel and welded onto it. So you got a double lip in here, and not a good one. I mean, you got a tire cutting double lip going on under there, so that's not good. It's got this trim. It's got the same problem here where they just kind of sprayed right over that. I don't know why they did that. Oh, there's the factory green. Let's look on this side. And I haven't really inspected this car too much. The reason I'm even showing this is because what I found in the trunk, I already knew then. I knew what was going on up here. So, we look in here. That's been welded back in. I mean, it's not good, but it's not the worst I've ever seen, but you can actually see daylight right there. That's the floor. So they didn't really weld it super good. But it does have a repair panel in here. This was a factory 4-speed car. I don't know what they got going on here. They were trying to reinvent the hump or something. Maybe it was cut out of this car at one time. I don't know, but that's that. The gas pedal on this is whatever this is. I don't even know what's going on. Oh, that's right, these gas pedals attached here, and this is just a pushing thing, so we'll let that slide. Oh, yes. And guess what? If I can do this here, I forgot my... Look at this. More fiberglass. What's it hiding? Is it hiding a hole? I'm not going to pull it up. I can already tell you it's hiding some. I mean, look at that. They grinded the paint away. They didn't even like spray anything on it. They're just... There it is. Okay. More fiberglass. Who knows? I don't think I've ever seen them rust out here. I don't know what they got going on here. I'm guessing this is covering this area here, but I'm not going to pull all that out. I guess it doesn't really matter. I don't know if that's been welded back in or not. A little suspicious looking, but you can see daylight through the wheel wells. Oh. Alright, so anyways, there's that. Let's move to the front of the car. And I'm making this video because people wanted to see it, and because I was criticized for not being very nice to the whoever restored this car and the people that sold this car for, you know, almost 20 grand. Well, you know, I'm just saying they should have been able to look at this car and said there were some problems and be like, probably shouldn't even try to sell this car, or try to at least fix it. There's some random welding rod. Okay, not too terrible. Trough on this side is existing, so I would say that part of the car's, it's at least passable. Let's go to the passenger front now. Alright, let's see what I see here. Well, I don't see any welding in the floor. Oh wait, that's right. Yep, there's no trough left, at least in that area. It's gone. It's rusted away. And it didn't really even take any effort to look to find all that was gone and rotted away on this car. Alright, let's go to the trunk. Alright. It smells horrible in here. You can see kind of their seam there where they were doing their stuff and all of that fun stuff. And you'll already notice that there's some of this fine fiberglass work. Man, I tell ya, 20 grand, just sign me right up for this, because I would pay 20 grand for this. Not. Look at that, more fiberglass. What do you think that's? Rust. Probably stuff I don't even want to see. And this is where it all started. I was pulling the crap out of this trunk because I was kind of thinking, I might have a trick up my sleeve what I can do with this car, and you know, let's try to do something with it. Well, this is kind of maybe not making it gonna happen that way. Yeah, more rust. So let's clean up this car, and I saw this, and I mentioned in the other video it looked like it was tar paper thrown over the back. No, it was fiberglass. And I grabbed a hold of this because I was trying to get the bolt off the rear bumper. Well, this was all in the way. I grabbed it, ripped it off, and oh my god. I mean, absolutely just brutal. And this fiberglass all the way down. See, we don't have rust like this in Montana. Okay. So, you know, I don't want to be saying that it's not their fault that they had the fiberglass over rust. I'm just saying it's their fault because I don't even know what they were thinking. And it's the other guy's fault for selling this car without even looking at this car. But this car was sold, like I said, 2 years ago. Coming on 2 years barely. And this wasn't done 2 years ago. Or if it was, then that classic option. I mean, there's the gas tank. I mean, this is just, it's unacceptable. And that's probably why I just got into a shop fire, because they probably figured it out. Now, before you think I'm just totally 100% bashing now, there were a few good things on this car. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Look at that. There were some good things on this car. I would say, even if this car wasn't burnt, because it had a sunroof cut into it, it was supposed to be a 401 4-speed car, is what it was, I guess. The factory is a 343 4-speed car. Anyways, my point is, if it was running and driving in this bad of rusted condition, maybe you could have maybe pulled the wool over somebody's eyes for $10,000. But this is just, I mean, it's got a title, but you're talking a full restore on this car. And we're talking about a car that you can barely get parts for, and a car where people hoard everything and want $10 million for anything. So this is just a parts car, unfortunately. Or it's a good car to make a tube chassis for. Okay, but this car it's rotten. Now, if I had a couple more Javelins sitting around or something, I would maybe kick around the idea of trying to fix it up and use patch panels out of those or something. But I don't, and it's too much of a project for me. I know what my limitations are and what my time is. I could probably fix this car, but I don't have the time and I don't have the motivation. And I also don't like holding on to cars I'm not going to do anything with. So the idea on this car originally was, when we got it, was to make it into a race car. Okay, and get the old orange AMX, since it's actually a really clean AMX, get it back up to par and make it nice. Unfortunately, yes, you can make a race car out of this, but safely, not, I mean, you could probably throw it together with sheet metal and patch it up, but again, it's a little too much of a project for me, even to try to just make it a flat-out race car. It is a 68 AMX with the title. Okay, it does roll. It's there. But it's going to have to, someone's going to have to really want this car to redo it. So I am probably going to end up selling this car. And I'm not going to ask much for it because I'm not that kind of a person. And I already got a few people lined up, so I'm not going to say, leave me a message if you want to buy this car, okay? Unless nobody buys it here soon, then I'll put a number and tell you how you can get a hold of me. But just like I said, it's a good car from somebody, but it's not a good car for me. And I don't want to hold on to cars. I don't want to hoard cars. I don't want to have these cars sitting around here, people stopping all the time. You're going to fix the car, or you're going to sell it, and oh, I'm going to restore it one day. I'm not going to restore this car one day. Okay, there's too many other things I'd rather spend my life doing. I love AMXs, and I'm actually super happy that at least once in my lifespan I got to own 2 AMXs at once. But 1 AMX is good enough for me. And if it doesn't sell, then we'll take it up to the property and we'll keep it up there covered. And I guess if somebody rear ends the back of that AMX or crashes the side of it, then I'll have parts. So, anyways, I'm sorry about this camera. I don't know why it won't stay focused hardly anymore. But I gotta get this shop cleaned up. That's why I was making this quick video. This camera would ever focus, but I got some good parts out of this car. I did have probably, like I said, $5,000 worth of good parts in it. So, and the motor and stuff, and being a shell. So it has some value, but like I said, you gotta want that value, or you gotta want to do something with it. And speaking of which, I think Scarebird Brakes is back in business for all you that ask me about these brakes. Those are actually going to go on the orange AMX. I've just been getting other stuff done, so stick around at the end of this video. We'll see a super special treat of the Junkyard Javelin 2, if you remember that car, and just a short little seeing how the progress on it since I sold it to the new owner and what they've done and all that fun stuff. So till the next time, I appreciate you guys all watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that I'm doing the right thing by letting this car go. We'll see you guys later. Well, there they are, the Junkyard Javelins. Never actually thought they'd ever sit side by side, running and driving, both of them. And Carl, if you're watching this, Dustin's probably going to need some more parts, so you're going to have to hook him up. He's putting all those parts I got from you to good use, so he needs a few more. It's kind of fun to even see them from behind since they both got spoilers. Generation 1 and Generation 2. Yep. Oh, you gotta show them your tattoo. Dan talks about that a lot. I mean, this man is so much into the Javelin, he's got it tattooed on his arm. Which is probably good. So. All that stuff worked. Yeah, it was an AC car, desert only. Yeah, she drives good. But, this one's a 74?
Yep.
74. You know, I always thought about putting the moon hubcaps type of wheels on them, but I never knew what they would really look like. But you know, it doesn't look bad.
Yeah, they look good. I like those wheels on that one.
Look at you, you look like a Mississippi pimp with this black and white interior and plum purple black vinyl top Javelin.
I think the interior was the most expensive part.
Oh yeah. Remember everybody, he's the one that bought the Junkyard Javelin number 2. For all of you who keep asking me about it. Well, here it is. We just drove it, I don't know, 8 miles maybe. So, runs good. He actually went and put a transmission in it, M12, M11, something like that. Because I wouldn't. Yeah, she drives good. Couldn't find one anywhere, and then we got a brand new one for like $160 shipped for the Gremlin. Well, yeah, it might rain on